Qatar's growing friendliness in Washington is concerning because of blank.
The obvious reasons, I guess. I mean, let's sort of back up for a second and set the stage for our viewers. Over the weekend, there was a huge story that broke from ABC and has since been confirmed by the Trump administration that the Qataris are just straight up giving Donald Trump a $400 million private jumbo jet.
A palace in the sky.
Exactly. It does look pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
He has talked about wanting to, get a new Air Force One for years. Boeing is decades late on their procurement order. So, this is obviously raising red flags, but it's not just with Donald Trump. The Qataris are one of the most powerful lobbies in Washington of any foreign country, and they're targeting folks on both sides of the aisle, and they've been doing it for years. It's obviously concerning, given their relationship with terror groups in the Middle East, given their treatment of their own people, their use of slave labor on massive infrastructure projects. It's strange, but it's also kind of comforting at this point that it's happening out in the open. Donald Trump really is the most transparent president ever, I guess. It's like asking, the family of Jamal Khashoggi, are you worried that MBS is going to send you a brand new private jet? It just feels weird, right? I don't know.
I mean, the top line is that it's concerning because Iran. Despite, we repeatedly get told by Steve Witkoff, the Qataris are our allies.
Well, I think it's important to recognize that everybody may want something. I think in the case of the Qataris, they're criticized for not being well motivated. It's preposterous. They are well motivated. They're good, decent people. What they want is a mediation that's effective, that gets to a peace goal. And why? Because they're a small nation and they want to be acknowledged as a peacemaker.
Let's not forget, this is a Sharia client state of Iran that has housed Hamas for years, members of Al-Qaeda, enabled the Taliban. These are not our friends. And unlike the Saudi example is very important because Saudi Arabia, it is an illiberal country pursuing liberal ends. You have MBS, who is an enlightened despot, who's willing to, use incredibly carceral, cruel means in order to achieve things like women having the ability to drive and work and go to school. Whereas Qatar is using a flashy facade to further entrench Sharia, to further entrench its ties to terror and terror proxies. So the main reason imminently why we should be concerned with this story beyond the obvious corruption, which again, Democrats, this is why you needed to take the Hunter Biden stuff more seriously because now you don't have much political cover to care about this Trump stuff. But from a self-interested perspective, recall Qatar gets money from Iran. They have a very close relationship. What foreign power has tried to assassinate Donald Trump before?
Let me think. I think it might rhyme with Tehran, perhaps? I can't really remember, yeah.
Maybe it would. Do you really want to be in a plane, even if it is retrofitted? I would never trust a plane that was once owned by the Qataris. You don't know how many members of Hamas have been in this plane. We could go on. But the other issue with Qatar, so you pointed out they're one of the biggest donors to D.C.
Mm-hmm.
It is not just D.C. Qatar is the single largest foreign donor to the American university system, to the tune of more than $2 billion just in the last 4 years.
That's more insidious than just giving Trump a plane, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. Mm-hmm. And also, we can blame Boeing, which is effectively, a nationalized industry that has been allowed to coast and be terrible. Remember, Trump originally ordered a new Air Force One in 2018, and they're saying they'll have one 11 years after that, 2029. Yeah. So I understand the concern with the plane. Air Force One is old. You can probably attest more to the operational factors of it. But really, Qatar's motivation is concerning because we are in a Cold War that apparently nobody wants to actually address. And that I am not a neocon. I am not a war hawk. I do not want this to ever turn into a hot war because it is a hot war against nuclear powers. But the fact is that when Iran is debating, do we sign a new JCPOA, aka Obama Deal 2.0, they send over their envoys to talk to the Russians and to the Chinese. The Qataris, it's wonderful and incredible that we are reportedly getting the last American hostage held by Hamas in Gaza. But why are the rest of the hostages still being held? If the Qataris have the power to get one American hostage, they have the power to get the rest. It is a policy decision that they have allowed Hamas to stay in power. There's just, I think, a willful delusion among, I would just call it the Witkoff faction within the White House, that thinks, oh, Iran, Qatar, Russia, China, they are not all working together, when clearly they are. They're telling us that. They're not exactly hiding the ball. And yet, like, we all have to engage in this folie à deux, pretending that they're not.
Are you telling me that the deal maker in chief and his most trusted lieutenants aren't going to negotiate this Cold War down from where it currently is? I find that hard to believe. It's almost like we're coming full circle from the very first segment. Who knows?